Hello, my name is John.
Hi, I'm Bo.
Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Brent, and we're going to talk to you today about nitrogen pollution issues in the Corn Belt.
The addition of nitrogen into corn crops is very important to a farmer and his production level. Nitrogen-based fertilizer is an inexpensive way for farmers to achieve a great amount of success. As a result, farmers in the Corn Belt have used large quantities of this nitrogen-based fertilizer on their crops, and the nitrogen has run off into bodies of water, polluting it and resulting in dead zones. The Corn Belt lies mainly in the Midwest and spans from South Dakota to Ohio. We will see later how the nitrogen runoff is affecting important water sources.
Now that we have defined our topic, we will expand on how significant this nitrogen pollution problem actually is.
Americans are growing more corn now than we ever have. This is why the farmers are using larger amounts of nitrogen-based fertilizer. However, this is not a good thing in actuality. Since more nitrogen is being pumped into our soil, we are experiencing the devastating side effects of it. The nitrogen left over from the millions of pounds of fertilizer used affects much of the water used for other purposes. Not only is it harmful to water used by people around the area, but it also reaches the Mississippi River and flows down to the Gulf of Mexico.
We know that nitrogen pollution is harmful, but how does it reach the bodies of water? Let's take a look at this diagram and see why.
Nitrogen enters the soil through fertilizers in the form of the ammonium ion. Here, it is able to help the corn grow and have a higher production rate. The ammonium ion also undergoes nitrification, where the nitrogen takes on the form of a nitrate ion. It is in this form that the nitrogen is able to reach the groundwater through leaching. This is where it makes its way to pollute the water systems and bodies of water.
Now I'm going to describe the role of agriculture from an environmental perspective. Corn has several advantages to farmers, with it being in such high demand with the want to produce corn-based ethanol fuels. This has driven the price from $2 a bushel to $4 a bushel, having farmers say it doesn't make sense to grow anything else. Corn also has its disadvantages because it releases a lot of nitrogen. Corn is a leaky crop where it absorbs less nitrogen per acre compared to other crops such as soybeans or alfalfa. This makes for more runoff into waterways due to the poor drainage systems of farms. The Corn Belt is having a drastic environmental impact. It is releasing up to 210 pounds of nitrogen runoff into the Mississippi annually. This number is said to increase as corn production keeps expanding. This runoff leads to the Gulf of Mexico, causing extensive dead zones. The fertilizer causes explosive algae blooms, where it then dies and sinks to the bottom of the ocean and begins to decay and suck up oxygen and cause a vast area of oxygen-depleted ocean. Fish and sea creatures either escape this area or they die. Bottom-dwelling creatures like crabs, oysters, and shrimp are at the biggest risk because they can't swim to escape the area. In hopes to decrease the nitrogen pollution, some solutions are to use less nitrogen fertilizer, implement buffer systems near waterways, and have farmers improve their drainage systems to decrease the runoff.
So, who should really care about nitrogen pollution? Here are a couple of stakeholders that have a stake in the nitrogen pollution in the Corn Belt.
Farmers who are growing the corn may be using more fertilizer than is needed to grow a healthy crop. Some farmers may be able to save money and grow a perfectly healthy crop of corn by using less fertilizer. When nitrogen gets into the water supply, it can be bad news for people who are drinking it, and to the city that has to spend money to clean it up. In general, more nitrogen in the soil and water can really mess up what Mother Nature intended. We should all care about where the nitrogen goes that doesn't go into our food.
Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Now we're going to talk about politics and nitrogen pollution problems in the Corn Belt. Responsibility on this controversial issue lies under city, county, state, and federal jurisdiction. That being said, we could be here for hours if we went over every single legal policy that regulates nitrogen in the Corn Belt. Because of this, we're going to go over a few key policies that impact all farmers in the Corn Belt and have made differences. The National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System is a national initiative undergone exclusively by the Environmental Protection Agency with the sole objective of reducing pollutants wherever there is a water source. The Corn Belt has been significantly impacted by this, since runoff and other things from farms end up water used holistically by people and by natural processes. There's a bunch of different provisions that the Federal Agriculture Improvement and Reform Act, or as you can see, FAIR, consider and enact. Most notably, though, it revises and simplifies the type of payment programs for crops, most notably corn. The payment programs force farmers to adjust their crop yields, and subsequently they must adjust their farming techniques. This adjustment in technique is what regulates their nitrogen input. The Food Conservation and Energy Act of 2008, or more commonly known as the 2008 Farm Bill, is another piece of agriculturally focused legislation that authorizes, extends, repeals, and also revises a variety of U.S. agricultural policies. In terms of nitrogen pollution in the Corn Belt, it once again puts a system of limits and inhibitions on crop production, inherently lessening the impact of nitrogen pollution.
Thank you for watching our video today. I'm Brent.
I'm Bo.
I'm John.
And I'm Seth. Have a great day.
Okay, for